Hello and welcome back to Football Manager once again. As you can see, we've made it to the first game of the new season, and we're against Larkhall in the FA Cup second qualifying round away from home. You'll also note there is a bit of budget in the transfer budget. Now that's not because I sold any players, mainly because of the fact we took a huge chunk out of the scouting budget because we were lacking in a certain position. Transfer wise, there's been a lot of business, I must admit. Let's just quickly count up the amount of business. 22 players have joined the club, 3 have left. That's it, 3. There's 1 or 2 players you'll recognise. Michelle Parker, the one that's highlighted, you'll recognise from Boston if you watched last game's series. Other than that, there's no other names you'll recognise, I don't think, in this team. The only player we actually paid money towards is Tarek Najia, who is effectively our backup goalkeeper, but that's because we only had one goalkeeper at the time. But since then we've bought, I think, one more, or I think we had the process of buying one more prior to that, but it wasn't actually confirmed at the time. Andrew Burns is another brilliant signing for us, a free transfer right back, only going to be here for one season. He's 27 years old. He's not really going to improve at this point, so I think getting him in early is going to be beneficial to us. There's no other players that really need to be mentioned all that much, I don't think, in terms of, they're going to be, big helps this season. Not saying they're not going to be helping at all, but just the fact that perhaps they're not going to be as big of a help as other players would be. We're actually not going to play the formation that I've got set up here. We're going to go into the middle one. No. Okay. The middle one should have positive rather than balanced mentality, but okay. Either way, we're going to play with this formation, and we are going to play the players in the roles they've got here. So obviously we're going to have to change a few players around. Namely, we've only got a couple of players that can actually play in the centre attacking midfield role, which isn't that great. But thankfully these players can. Obviously we keep him, as I said, as the roles they are currently in, mainly because I'm going to try and work around, instead of what I've been previously doing of choosing the player's best position, choosing the player for the position. So in other words, a goalkeeper, if I want a sweeper keeper, I'm going to search for a sweeper keeper, not search for a goalkeeper then train up to be a sweeper keeper, because I don't think it's going to really work. So we're going into this game with a lot of players who are new and a lot of players who really are not, at the moment at the very least, fully bedded into this squad. So for today's fixture we have for Larkhall Athletic Ben Fraser in goal, Lewis Peacock, Joe Foyle as captain, Toby Holland, Anthony Gillespie, Toby Carey, Toby Beeden, Lewis Claxton, Angus Buckland, John Dix and Reese Pring, whilst on the bench they have Dominic Sexton, Lucas Hogg, Jeff House, Lucas Madison, Lamar Phillips and Harold Nichols. Whilst for Chippenham Town ourselves, we have Will Puddy in goal, right back Andrew Burns, centre backs Michelle Parker and Ollie Dwyer, with left back as captain today Kieran Parsel, with centre midfielders Luke Rawson and Luke Russ, with Joe Hanks. Joe Hanks and Luke Russ are the centre midfielders. Luke Rawson is centre attacking midfield, with Ross Stern and Stanley Asomaga as the two wingers, with Dan Holman up front. On the bench we have Luke Jordan, Eddie Jones, Alex Petrovich, Charlie Ball, Spencer Hamilton, Glenn Walker and Brad Ash. So, very, very strong squad in terms of our opposition, towards our opposition I should say, but perhaps this squad could still do with a lot of improvements before we go into the actual season starting properly. And I have not changed this. My apologies. Just to make sure I actually change the things that need to be changed here. That's all good. Behind goal, perfect. That's all good. Right. So, everything is now set up properly. I guess I forgot to do that during one of the friendlies before I had an assistant manager, but thankfully it's been fixed now. Rawson plays the ball forward to Holman and it's 1-0. 3 minutes on the clock, and Chippenham Town score their first goal of the new season. With a very, very good goal, I must admit. Holman getting the ball on the edge of the box from a very well placed pass from Hanks. Oh no, sorry, from Rawson, but it's a very well struck effort into that top corner, and it's Larkhall 0, Chippenham 1, and I'm very happy with that result. Hanks with a corner kick swings it into the far post, but this time Holman's header does not find the net. We are playing very well today so far, only 15 minutes on the clock at the moment, 4 shots to 0, 2 on target to 0, although they now have a corner kick, but it has been headed clear by O'Dwyer. Carey now with the ball for Larkhall. Very risky ball back to his defender, but it does end up actually now with Chippenham. Hanks now with the ball, plays it to Somaga. I'm not actually going to say that. I might give him a nickname after this match because I don't know how to pronounce that name. And I might just call him Stanley, like I did with Guevara for the Halifax portion of last series. Mainly because I don't want to risk saying it wrong and it coming out really bad. But so far, over half an hour of football played, and they have not yet had a shot. A poor throw from Rawson ends up with a header back from their defenders, but Michel Park with a ball over the top for Holman, but this time his shot is blocked by the defenders. A cross in by our left winger, but it is also headed clear. Burns now with the ball to Russer over the top, but only finding Fraser. Now Fraser, clearance from him. Burns heads it forward, finding Stern. Stern now running it to the edge of the box, looking to get a ball in. Does so, and Holman's header is just wide. And with 40 minutes on the clock, 12 shots to 0. Very impressive from the team. Fraser over the top with the goal kick, but headed forward by our own central midfielders. Stern now brought down inside the box, and it's a penalty kick for Chippenham. I believe it's Holman to take. I could be wrong. Oh, it's actually Hanks taking this penalty, and it's slotted into that bottom corner. Chippenham 2, Larkhall 0. And it's a very, very positive result so far. Not a lot going wrong in this match. In fact, as far as I can tell, nothing going wrong, really. We've got control of the possession. 2/3 of it is ours rather than theirs. We've got 14 shots to 0, 1.84 XG. Still don't quite know what the exact meaning of that is. And we've dominated them in possession of passes as well. So I'm not even actually going to make any changes yet. I'm going to wait this match out for the long term to determine who needs to come off and when. Fraser with a goal kick over the top, but cleared by O'Dwyer. Gillespie now forward to Dix, forward to Claxton, now Buckland, forward to Pring, who shoots, but it is well saved by Will Puddy. That's a throw-in now for Larkhall, their first shot so far in the game, and it's on target. But the very next highlight is a very close effort from, I believe that was Hanks on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it did not go in. And after an hour of football, still it remains 2-0, but Dix now with the ball inside the box, and Pring just proving exactly why Larkhall are in the 8th tier of English football with that abysmal effort at goal. Dix now with the ball, playing it forward to Phillips. Phillips plays the ball forward to Pring, who gets the edge of the box, but again shoots wide. But I must say they're getting more and more efforts on goal, which is going to be worrisome, especially if they continue like this for the rest of this match. I'm actually going to make my first 2 substitutions here, namely Luke Russ coming off for Glenn Walker, as he is not playing well at all, as well as Ross Stern coming off for Brad Ash. And I think my last change will be a change to do with condition rather than actual form in the match. Actually, to be fair, I might not even make a final change. Although actually saying that, I've just noticed that Stan has gone below a 6.5, so I think it is fair to bring him off. So we'll confirm that change, go play forward, and I think 3 minutes stoppage time, we've won this match 2-0, very comfortable. It's never been in doubt really, this result, but I have to say that perhaps I'd have wanted a bigger win than this. heading into our first game against Welling in the National League South. Now, of course, there is no guarantee that this result is becoming of what's going to happen in the league. Of course not. Mainly because, as it says here, we hammered Larkhall. It was 2-0. I would not class that as a hammering of a result. But we are in the third qualifying round, which is very nice, of course. I will praise Holman on his debut. Okay, apparently didn't want to be praised. I have annoyed our striker. Okay, fair enough. I mean, an 8.1 is praiseworthy in my book, but guess not. And yeah, we've got Welling next. I'm going to quickly have a look. No, don't want that. That's what I want. Then that. So, the schedule for the third qualifying round draw is the 5th. So it's Monday the 5th. I think instead of just playing through until Welling, I'm just going to end the video here and let you all know who we're playing on the day of the Welling game. So for now, I think I'll leave this as it is, and until we play Welling at 5 o'clock today, I bid thee adieu and goodbye.